So there's three key areas that I often work on, and I wanted to show you those today. Today I'm working on some little pretend feet. Usually in the videos that I have on my website, they're actually me doing it on my little girl, so you can see what it's like actually working on a real life little human. And so you can see that sometimes they might kick their little leg or move a little bit. They say don't work with children and animals, and I'm working with with one half of that. But today, just to make things easier for the sake of this video, I am going to be using my little pretend baby feet for the video. So the first point that I often work on is on the big toe, at the very tip of the big toe, the very tip. That is the brain reflex. Now, I use that a lot for pretty much anyone that comes into my reflexology room, which I'm in at the moment. So that is really helpful at the top of the big toe as the brain reflex to help with things like reducing stress, just helping to relax. So, for example, if my little girl is getting herself wound up or isn't sleeping well, one of the first things I will do once I've done the routine or as part of a routine is to use the brain reflex, which is at the top of the big toe, the tip. And that is brilliant. You can also find them on the tips of the other toes, but the big toe, especially in our little ones, we want the biggest surface area we can work on, and that is on the big toe. So that is why I often use the big toe. So the second reflex point that I use a lot, again in children, adults, toddlers, newborns, you name it, it will benefit them, is the adrenal gland. Now this one's really difficult to show you on a foam foot, I'm afraid, but in real life, when the foot is bent over, you'll quite often have a line that forms, and it will be around here, and on the inner edge of the foot, basically where my finger is at the moment along this pretend crease that isn't on real baby's feet, that is the adrenal gland. Now again, it's linked to stress, and as some of you may know, there's quite a lot of people are going through like adrenal fatigue. When you're stressed out, is your adrenal gland doing some of the work? So I quite often find the adrenal gland on the foot, and you don't need to work this very hard at all. You just almost holding it super gently will be beneficial. So I just hold it often for 10 to 15 seconds. And that is the second point that I was going to show you today. Now, the third point, I've almost already given you a little demo of what it is. So on the sole of the foot, like I said, you can usually find this when the foot is bent over a little bit. This isn't showing it at all, but there's a really often clear line that works along here, along this bit here called the diaphragm line. And in the middle of that diaphragm line, there is a point. So it's just below the third toe along that line. And I just usually either press that point or I will give it a lovely round massage. And that is the solar plexus on the foot. And that is one that I'll probably use in pretty much all of my routines. So it's worth getting to know it now. So these are usually easier to find on a real baby foot rather than a foam one that I'm working on today. But those were the three areas that you will probably come up as most common in my baby reflexology videos.